And you mentioned a couple of kids along the way.
Yeah. So it was a real, because we've talked about the arthritis, it was a real journey for us because, we really wanted to have kids, but we weren't sure whether we could or what that would look like from a physical health point of view. My rheumatologist in Adelaide was really supportive. He said, look, he was so lovely. He's like, I think you make a great mum. He said, your body might struggle, but it also might do really well in pregnancy. But let's just deal with it one day at a time. And he said, just bear in mind, it might take you a bit longer to get pregnant. So we went with that advice and too much information, but we got pregnant really quickly. And so had our first son a year and a half after we'd been married. But we moved back down to Adelaide to have him. The first part of the pregnancy went really well. The second part of the pregnancy I got pretty sick with preeclampsia, ended up hospitalised for a couple of weeks before I had him. And after I had Levi, who's now 13, the arthritis relapsed. So I had a great time in the second trimester. The pain was much reduced, flexibility had increased. Those lovely hormones that, the pregnant body gets were great. But post having Levi, I relapsed quite significantly and I couldn't really walk for about a month. And it took extra medication to get on board with that.
Sounds like it went really dark really quick.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
How did you keep the light?
To be honest, I didn't at that point. I scrambled. I ended up with postnatal depression as well at that point. And when I look back at it, it's probably no wonder, really. Like, my physical body was struggling. New mum. A lot of the medical profession, like apart from my rheumatologist, the obstetricians were really overprotective towards the end of the pregnancy. I even had one midwife say to me after I'd had Levi, are you sure you're going to be able to care for this baby? So really challenged my capacity. And that was really hard for me as someone who's been quite independent, even in the struggles, to have someone question my capacity. And at that point, it was really it was a dark time because I would try and speak life to myself, like say the things that I know to be true, do the things I know that normally help, but it's as though nothing did. And it wasn't until I spoke with, I went to a mum's group when Levi was about 9 months old, and they had someone present on postnatal depression, and I was able to say, actually, I think that's me. And in doing so, the weight lifted and the light came back. And so I think it's not the first time that things have got dark for me. I feel like I'm jumping all over the place, but when we had that car accident when I was 18 and when those surgeries started, I ended up quite depressed and quite in a dark place. And I questioned whether there was more to life than this. And it was that point that I found hope in Jesus. So that's where the faith part of my story kind of came in, was that there is hope in pain. There is hope in dark situations, and his name is Jesus.
How did he come in if he's not a physical person and help you?
Oh, great question. I think I can only answer that by saying it was a revelation. It was a heart and spirit journey. It went from a head knowledge to a heart knowledge. It went from, hey, there's got to be something more to life than this. And then, I didn't grow up in a Christian household, but I'd been given a Gideon's Bible at high school, and my friend was a Christian. And in reading the Gospels, reading about, I've come that they may have life and life to the full, I was like, I want this. There's got to be more to life than laying on a hospital bed unable to move. There's got to be more to life than struggling. So yeah.
But we do want to ask you the final question that we ask all of our guests, and I'm sure you've got some pearl of wisdom inside of you to share. If you had one piece of advice to share with those who are watching and listening to us today, what would that be?
I think that there's always hope. Like, no matter what you go through, no matter what situation you are in, there is always hope. And to seek it out. And whether that's talking to someone or reading a book or whatever that might be, to step outside of yourself in those darkest moments, there is always hope. Whether it be conflict, whether it be health, relationships, no matter what it is, there's always hope.
Great advice. Thank you for watching this short clip of Life Bursts. You can like, subscribe or follow for more, or head to rawcut.com.au.